Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys liked the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. What's up guys, ALTCOIN Shipper here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert to do your own research. Today I will be going through some Twitter requests. If you don't follow me, please check out my Twitter account at ALTCOIN Sherpa. I am doing more overall altcoin requests over the next few weeks, and I really wanted to do more videos, so let's see how that goes. I got a bunch of requests, and I'll do some of the majors. I'm not going to review Bitcoin today, just because I'm going to do Bitcoin a lot of the other days, but yeah, let's just see how it goes. Okay, so ETH USD, this is ETH USD on the daily. There's a big event with Shanghai, and everybody's unlocking all their tokens, and everyone thought there would be a lot of sell pressure. But what we're seeing right now is that ETH hasn't really moved at all. ETH is just continuing up higher. This is a large supply zone, and you can see that there was a consolidation event in May 2022. Price came back up in August 22 and then went down quite a bit. But we haven't really seen a true breakout for Ethereum, in my opinion. And this entire area, this was the first breakout at the 1750 level. You can see that this level was important as it was the bottom throughout the summer of 2021, and we are now approaching this kind of next resistance area, and we'll see when volume profile comes up. Okay, so like lots of volume transacted all throughout the kind of 1,000 to $1,700 area. There's a lot of volume transacted, and it's really kind of hard to tell what the next levels are. I mean, this, as I said, this was a resistance area in May and then August of 2022, but ultimately I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, this hits mid 2Ks or whatever before the run is over with. I just don't know if Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin over the next, you know, few weeks. It's really hard to tell. We can go into ETH. I'll do a video on ETH specifically probably in the next few days, but like overall, ETH should still do well as long as Bitcoin does well, but I don't know if it outperforms. So yeah, I'll go more into that later. Let's go into Link. I think Link is just a stable coin at this point. Huge amount of volume transacted here at this current level. I mean, the majority of it actually was even lower, you know, as you can see, like $2 mark, $2 to $4 mark. But you can see that there's also quite a bit of volume transacted all in this area as well. Almost the same amount all throughout this like kind of $7 area. And I strongly believe that Link is actually in accumulation mode. I think that this is going to just continue chopping around for quite some time. And it looks really good, but there's going to be a large opportunity cost for your money if you are holding Link. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this is almost guaranteed to do like 2-3x or whatever when it starts to move. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But it's just it's probably going to take a long time for that, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this like start to move really strongly, and you know, as I said, 2-3x would not be a surprise at all to me. I think that something like, yeah, like the next kind of altcoin run that we have, or really when Link just starts to break out, I don't know when that is. This one will go strong. All the EMAs are all tightened up. The 200 EMA is equal with all the others. Lots of compression, lots of consolidation, almost an entire year worth of accumulation. This one looks great, like in the sense that it's going to move. I just don't know when it's going to move. It could still take another several months for all we know. Could be just more chop, could be more consolidation, and then we move strongly higher. But I think it's almost near guaranteed this at least does a, you know, 2x from, you know, call it $7 to $14 or whatever. I think that's pretty likely. So yeah, it looks good, but just opportunity cost is makes me not interested. I'm gonna wait until this actually breaks out of the range. So like when this actually breaks out of the range, I'll just try to buy a pullback and then trade it then. But until that time, not gonna hold it. AVAX, I think AVAX and some of the other layer ones also look really good. And the reason is that a lot of the EMAs are starting to compress quite a bit, similar to other coins. And some of these other layer ones really haven't done huge multiples compared to some other altcoins. And, you know, stuff like Solana, AVAX, Near, those all look relatively pretty reasonable. Now, I don't know if like the ecosystems are going to receive a lot of the carry over from like the underlying doing really well, but something like AVAX looks pretty reasonable. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it goes to like $22 or something like that. Resistance, and this is just an area of resistance all throughout its price history for the most part. Would like to see, you know, a break of that 21.50 area, and then, you know, we would target like 30, but again, don't really know what it's going to look like for AVAX. Okay, let's look at Solana. Solana looks good. As I said, similar to some of the other coins, similar EMA structures. All these EMAs are all looking really strong. I do believe actually, though, that this is going to be resistance. It makes sense that this area is resistance too, because you can see that price never could break above this level all throughout, you know, early 23. We haven't really seen price above this level either since the FTX dump, where, you know, price had that massive move from $30 all the way down to 10. And this is the 200-day EMA. So in my opinion, I think we actually see a pullback. You know, maybe here, maybe a little higher, but it wouldn't really surprise me at all to see a slight pullback to, I don't know, call it the low 20s, and then we eventually break higher. I still believe that this is going to be reasonable, but there's a lot of midterm uncertainty with the overall Solana token, simply because of how much Alameda has for you know, their treasury or lack thereof. So you know, I would personally I would not be a buyer at this level. I would personally look to buy around 21 or something like that if I'm being patient, and just kind of take it from there. MATIC looks okay. They have I think some ZK features coming, or it's already out. EMAs all look pretty reasonable. It's just chopping around. I think it's probably forming a bottom, but again, like, there's not much volatility. It's just kind of compressing. And unlike some of the others too, it actually outperformed a lot of other shit coins all throughout 2022, where, you know, it hit that bottom at 33 cents and then went up to a $1.30, and then again, big move up, but now it's kind of finding a bottom. I don't expect much volatility here. I think that this continues just to chop around. I think it's just going to like chop around for a bit longer, everything consolidate, everything compress, and then we'll see a strong move up. Would like to see a high time frame close above this $1.30 line. This is an interesting area, in my opinion, just because you saw support all throughout February 2022. We saw rejection in November 2022, and then a deviation above that in February 23, and then a break below. So would like to see price close above that area, this 130 area, and if that happens, then I would target like the kind of high-ish ones, like the 170 or so area. But again, I don't really know if this is going to actually outperform many others, just simply because MATIC already outperformed early in the year. So there's probably better options than MATIC, in my opinion. Sand, it really depends on if metaverse stuff is going to take place, or already, you know, going to have any sort of narrative. I think that Sand looks pretty reasonable, but again, it's not a very active trade. You would just buy this and hold it for a while, hoping that, you know, price is going to continue chopping around, compressing, and then we'll see it start to move. You know, it's similar to other alts, like where it moved strongly in January to February, and then it had a strong retrace all throughout February to March, and now it's looking like it's just in consolidation mode from March until now. And really, it looks like it's forming some sort of bottom, but I don't really see this as a really good active trade. Volatility is very, very low. It's probably a good swing trade overall, like in the sense that if you just buy it here and like expect to like see some sort of rejection at the 80 cents area, the 200-day EMA, and then gun for the highs around near $1, that would make a lot of sense to me. But again, I'm not going to personally trade this. Opulous, good token in my opinion. I am an investor in this one. Disclaimer. I think it's solid. I hold a position in it. I think it's one to look for. There's a lot of volume that came in overall all throughout the January period. That was kind of KuCoin season too. If you guys looked at a lot of the KuCoin shit coins, they really did well. But Opulous looks pretty reasonable in the sense that the 200-day EMA got flipped. You know, it did have that strong move up, and then it started kind of distributing. But it looks to me like it's forming some sort of low. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see, again, though, the 13 cents area tapped. You can probably also fib it out from the bottom, where this is probably some sort of fib. So, yeah, it's like the 618-ish. You'd have to go down to lower, really low time frames, though, in order to check to see if these levels are valid or not. But it looks like it's the 618. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the 618 tapped again. So go back down at least to the 14s. And then just continue chopping around. But it does look like it's pretty reasonable for right now, but would be a little bit patient with an entry personally. Still a good project, though. I want to note that. Dogecoin looks like, you know, it fully pretty much retraced that entire Twitter stuff. That was like an easy short, of course. Don't really see much for this one. I mean, again, similar to other Doge will always just either moon or just chop. There's really nothing in between. And that's really all coins too, but Doge especially, you know, if you've been in crypto for a while, you just know the strength of Doge is unlike anything else, in the sense that this thing can always go like, you know, 10x. Maybe not at the current market cap, just because, you know, it's very widely traded and the liquidity is huge and lots of trading volume, and, you know, big players are in this. But in the past, before it was, you know, at the current prices, it was always one that you just knew that it was always going to do several X's and then just retrace the entire thing over the next like several weeks. And I don't really see this as a great active trade personally. I mean, all EMAs have flipped bullish, which is nice, but again, I think that it's really a coin that is going to move off any sort of Elon moves or tweets or you know, any news in that regard. I think that that's what's going to happen with regards to a lot of the Doge activity. I don't really see it from like a pure price action standpoint as really a great active trade. Maybe just like one to just buy it, and you'll know that it'll eventually do like several X. You know what it did back in October of 2022. It's going to do something like that again, like guaranteed. Doge just always does this type of shit. If you look at its old price history, even, you know, back in, this is a Binance chart, so it's not super old, but if you look, you know, back at its old price history, it's just absolutely crazy, where you see these long wicks, these long huge moves, and then a full retrace. It's just very likely that, you know, Doge eventually does. It's almost an inevitability where this just goes to like, you know, 2-3x. You just have to hold it, and you have to sell the pump. So you can't just. This is not one where you like long term hold it, in my opinion. Optimus. This is a meme token on BitGet. Also, this is another coin that I bought, and I've been buying a lot of different dog tokens the last several weeks, and the reason is just that I think that there is going to be an altcoin run. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe it'll be in like a few weeks. Maybe it'll be in a few days. I have honestly no clue. But I've been buying a bunch of dog tokens. Just note that all these dog tokens can really just go to zero, so you really need to be very careful about buying these types of meme tokens. But I think that Optimus is interesting just because, you know, it's kind of riding the Elon Musk hype overall with regards to his Elon Musk hype with regards to some of his memes. So I think that, you know, Optimus is one that's interesting to look at, but as I said, I bought a few other dog tokens as well. Some like You can't really say all of them because there's pretty low liquidity. But, you know, as I said, disclaimer, like you really need to just note that if you buy these super low cap tokens, not that this one's super low cap either. I think its FTV is like 30 million or more. So, like, you know, sure, that's not huge by crypto standards, but if you look at some of these other really crazy meme tokens, you know, that have FTVs of like 1 million or something, you really like, there's a high chance that it just rugs or you lose all your money. So you really just need to note that if you go into those types of tokens and you're really just hoping for like a 20x, 50x, 100x or whatever. In general, this is an interesting token. The overall resistance areas are, you know, 0.55 and 0.50, but once we see a true breakout out of this range, and I think things will start to look better. Obviously, like, you know, all-time highs are going to come at that point. 4 hours EMAs all look pretty good, but, you know, if Bitcoin fully retraces, then we could just see this come back all the way back down to the range lows, around 30 cents. But overall, still bullish on meme tokens as long as they have good narratives and good activity. Fetch.ai, this one had, you know, led the run we saw back in January, and now it looks like it's in distribution mode, honestly, but I wouldn't be surprised if this hits one last move before it fully distributes. I don't honestly, you know, maybe it has another strong leg, but it did so many multiples before that I just don't know how much more left in the tank it has for this current run. I think it needs like a long accumulation period. Maybe like we see a little bit more go down to the 200 EMA, and then we move back up to like the 60 cents area again. And that would be an interesting area for a short. I don't think there's actually any futures on this though. So, but you know, maybe we hit like something like this, and I just don't know if this is really going to outperform, but there is a large amount of support right around the 26 cent area. Big, you know, SR level, 200 EMA. That's the area that I would personally target if I were looking to enter this one. But, you know, I don't really know what the AI hype is going to be like. Lido, again, lots of fundamental stuff around this one with regards to liquid staking, derivatives, and the chart itself looks fine. I would say it looks neutral. I don't think it's like good or bad personally. Double top over here with the recent price action, but it's really hard to say what's going on with this chart, to be frank and honest with you. I mean, I don't really have a clear idea. It doesn't really look like it's forming a higher or low. I mean, I think that it's going to do fine as long as other altcoins do fine, but I don't necessarily think it's going to outperform the rest of the altcoin market. But it's really going to be somewhat fundamental for this one, just to see like what the reaction is like for all these ETH players over the next several days and weeks. You know, if there's a lot of people that want to use Lido, maybe they just like go ahead and just start aping into this one. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen with all the LSDs. Secret Network, good token, but it looks dead for now. Just long downtrend. Just don't really know where the bottom is on this one. I mean, just it's not. I don't think it's necessarily bad because of how much it's gone down, relatively speaking. I mean, you know, listing in pretty much the entire bear market at $7, and now it's at 69 cents. I mean, I don't know about this one. It looks okay chart-wise. All the EMAs are relatively evened out. Maybe we see some sort of like spike up to like the dollar and then pulls back because of the 200 EMA, and then forms some sort of higher low and then starts going bigger. But you know, I don't really know what's going to happen with this one. The chart looks pretty bad though. Woo Network, great coin. I am an investor in this one. Looks solid. Broke past this resistance area around 24 cents. All the EMAs look really solid on the daily, and now it's coming up to this next resistance area around 28 cents. And 28 cents, and then I'm expecting a pullback around here, but once we fully break that 28 cents area, I feel confident they will. Then we just gone for like the, I'd say 40 cents area or so. I know there's another chart on Huobi. I think this is kind of a not clear chart on Binance, but oh well. Anyways, 40 cents is like the next area up in my opinion, but that's only after we see a break of 27 or so. But things still look pretty reasonable on this one. It's a solid project. Joe has been absolutely mooning, and that's because it went over to, I think, Arbitrum and BSC. So it's not just an Avalanche DEX, and we're seeing that a lot as well. These native DEXs are pivoting, and not necessarily pivoting, but they're adding new features, and they're going more. This one, got absolutely wrecked. As Avalanche got wrecked too, went all the way down to 10 cents, and now it's close to 65. So absolutely crazy to see this, and I think that honestly it's just going to continue. The next area of resistance I see is kind of this 80 cents area. If exposed to Joe, I actually have some Joe tokens myself as well. Not a huge amount, but it's I have some just because I was farming on Avalanche way back in the day and just held some Joe in my wallet. But 80 cents is the next area up in my opinion. But everything looks really strong. Look at the insane volume coming in. Like it's way higher than anything that we saw previously. And it just looks pretty good. So, but I would expect 80 cents to be resistance. CRV, great project. DeFi in general is underperformed by quite a lot, and that's an understatement. Really, since DeFi summer, it's just been all downhill. Yeah, I think that EMAs look good on the daily. I think this is just chopping around. I see this as a low volatility coin right now. Clearly, not huge moves. I think it's good. I just think that it's going to continue chopping around. Next resistance area around 130, and then ultimately 150. Do think that it'll eventually break out though. This is a good project. GRT, I think they had this one had a really strong move before, and I traded it a little bit. EMAs all look pretty good. It chopped around like the 618 fib. Now it's on the 0.5 fib. Expecting it to actually do pretty well. This one is one to watch in my opinion. But because it looks like it's forming some sort of higher low, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see like a move from this area all the way up to like the 22 cent area next. CLV, what is this? Clover? This is a shit coin. Look at this. Looks terrible. So $1.60, and now it's at 6 cents. I mean, that's a lot of altcoins too. That's not really just Clover, but I don't know what this one does, but it looks bad. No reason to buy this yet, in my opinion. Would expect the 200 EMA to come back up as resistance, so 9 cents, and then break down, and then eventually go up higher. Nakamoto Games looks pretty good. Already had a moon up 570%, and came back down. EMAs all look pretty good, but this is kind of a danger area. I wouldn't necessarily buy here personally. Close to like kind of this high. I think upside is a little bit. It's a little confusing too. Like maybe it comes back up and then comes back down. But I mean the EMAs look good, but I just don't know what this looks like overall. And like it is close enough to resistance area, like a strong resistance area around 37 cents. So we'll just probably wait on this one. CFX. Super strong move before, obviously, but looks iffy. Currently looks iffy. It never really had a chance to really have to form a really good low. So, you know, maybe it's like forming a good low is like chopping around for a while, and then like you form a good low. Unless it's like the super bear market. It's not the super bear market though. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be mostly hype related, but like, you know, volume was insane when it came up before, but I just don't know on this one. Just apprehensive. Wouldn't buy it personally. What's next? QNT Quant. Looks pretty good actually. Lots of compression. Lots of compression. Had a big strong run in October. Lower high in February. I mean, market structure still, in my opinion, is pretty... It's not necessarily... You could argue it's just bearish, honestly, because it's got a high, lower high, but it does have like higher low. So I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's pretty, in my opinion, this is like, stuff like this is just, it's neutral. I still think it looks pretty good though, to be frank and honest with you. Wouldn't necessarily rush in to buy though. Personally, I think that you can wait. You can wait for something like this to come again. It's like the $100 area or lower. Anyways, these are all the chart requests for today. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Going to keep doing more of these in the future. Good luck.